Hello everyone, it's Andrew from Gem TCG, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about a big mistake that a lot of Pokemon sealed investors make when they're looking to build their positions in sealed product. And it's something that I caught myself doing a lot too. So I want to bring some awareness to it so that hopefully you guys don't make that same mistake and be successful with your investments. And the mistake I'm talking about is being very short-sighted and focused on like what you're paying today versus what the value would be 2 to 5 years later. Because at the end of the day, whether you paid $100 for a evolving size booster box or you paid $105 for it when it was at that price range, does it really matter when the current price today is $1,700 or like $1,900? And that's the main gist of what this video will be about and how you can like avoid that so it doesn't slow down your building of your like investment. And also, speaking of sealed product, I do have a tier in my Patreon where I sell sealed product and other collections at a discount. So if you're interested in that, check it out with the link in the description. So the reason that I brought this video up today is because lately I've been building a large position in prismatic evolutions. And this month alone, I spent $10,630 on prismatic ETBs and a little bit of booster bundles, but mainly ETBs. And at first, I was offering like $90 a box when the market was $100. And when people would reach out and say, I can't do 90, but I could do 95, I would pass on it because I don't want to pay that $5 difference. Or like I am mentally thinking, okay, I want to pay $90 per box. I don't want to be paying anything more than that. So like I put a almost like a barrier mentally that prevents me from wanting to go above that number. And I think I've built that over the years because like when I'm negotiating, when I'm buying collections, I have a price in mind, and if they want more, I usually just back off. I don't want to like nudge anyway because once you start shifting on your price, you usually just like feed into anything and then you accept any price. So I try to be very strict with that. But with sealed product, since I'm not directly reselling it and it's more of a position building movement or whatever you want to call it, like just investing, and that price scale is much bigger on a 3 year span than it is when you're trying to flip singles from collections. So there's like a different approach you have to take with it. And when these people would say they want 95 or 92 or whatever, I would say no because I was so focused on paying 90. And then I got a few at that $90 price range, but then I stopped buying because like usually when I start buying sealed product, it's very hard to do because one, there's just so many scammers that reach out to you when you say you're buying sealed product. And two, it's like when you buy sealed product, you instantly know that the value of that thing is probably going to be going down and you're not going to see that money for like another year or two minimum if you want to make a solid return. So it's like when I'm spending $1,000 on a prismatic case or whatever, that's $1,000 that I'm just getting rid of and putting it away. So it's kind of hard to do that mentally. And then on top of the people scamming, it's like it's just a very bad combination. So once I make a post saying I'm gonna buy stuff, usually I kind of like back off after a while and I stop looking for it. But then I bought 10 ETBs. I'm looking at the chart right now, or like my spreadsheet, and I bought 10 ETBs all at $90 a piece. And then I stopped for a while. Then I said, like in my head, I'm like, this, I don't think this set is going to go down anymore. And I think it's going to be like a $200, $300 ETB eventually within the next year or two, I bet. So I don't want to be limited at a 10 ETB position. Like I want to have a lot more for the future because it's basically Evolving Skies, but in a specialty set. And I don't understand why it's so low. But I'm not even trying to make this video to make the value of it go up. I'm just trying to explain my process. So I wanted to double down and I made another post. But this time the market price was 105 or 110. So I was paying 95 per box. And now a bunch more people messaged me and I ended up buying over 85 ETBs. I think it's total between 85 and 100 ETBs of prismatic evolutions in the last week or like week or two. And I was paying 95 a box this time. So that little slip up, or like me not wanting to pay a little bit more when I was paying 90 a box, kind of came back and like affected me negatively, because let's say someone wanted $92 a box when I was paying 90. If I would have paid that then, I would have saved $3 compared to what I was paying a week later. And even then, this is still like what I'm talking about is very short term thinking. But even then, a year or two from now, nobody's going to care if you paid $90 a box or $95 a box or even $100. Because when the value of the box goes to 200 or 250 or whatever it could go to, that $5 to $10 difference is not going to have an impact compared to like what the return on the investment is going to be. And even looking back on like other investments I've made, I wish I would have learned this sooner, because if I would not have, or if I would not have had this mindset sooner, I would have been able to buy Sword and Shield booster boxes way more often and had much bigger investments on those. But since like when I would make a post saying I'm buying, I'd say I don't want to pay over what I'm asking to pay, which would only be like a $5 to $10 difference, or like a very small chunk. It would cost me like many deals where I would lose out on buying like a, let's say like a Sword and Shield Lost Origin case, and that $10 difference back then is probably like a $500 difference today, because missing out on that case investment when it was like $140 a box is huge when you look at it today, with it being like what, $400 I think for Lost Origins. So that's my logic on making these investments, and why you shouldn't be so focused on not wanting to like go above what you're asking, or being so focused on trying to, I guess the term is like penny pinch, or like be very tight on what you're spending. Now, of course, if the box is worth 100 and you want to pay 90, but then someone comes to you and they're like, "Oh, I'll sell for $100," and you're buying in bulk, then that's a different story. Like obviously, look for better deals and always try to find as many deals as you can, because you never know. Like during the first week, I bought a from three different people. It was 5 ETBs, 3 ETBs, and then two. Then the week after that, someone reached out to me and they had 20 ETBs. And I obviously got a better deal on that because I was buying more. And then it was another 2 ETB collection, 3 ETBs. And then after that, someone had 29 ETBs that I bought. So I paid $2,724 for 29 ETBs. So if you keep an eye out and make those posts as much as you can saying that you're looking for these collections or like these products, you will find more people and you will find better deals, because let's say someone is selling it for like 95, but then someone sees your post and they really want to get rid of their sealed product or collection or whatever, they might sell it to you for like 90 or 92 just because they want to get rid of it and they saw your post. So keep that in mind when you're making these like decisions. Don't always go with the first person you see, because there's always a better deal if you look for it. But still don't be too caught up in trying to find the best deal, because as long as you're like averaging out to be a good price on what you're buying it and you're willing to wait a year or two, then you'll be fine no matter what, assuming it's a good set and it performs well. But the bottom line is, don't lose out on a potentially 2x or 3x investment just because you don't want to spend a $5 difference on what you're paying, or like a 5% difference. So yeah, that's about it for this one. Another announcement for TCG Automate is that I am adding Japanese Pokemon cards in there, so it should be available by the time this video comes out. And I'll have another follow-up video on that too, maybe in like a short form style, or I might start making full videos on like its own playlist. And I'll still keep up with the daily uploads, but I'll make separate full-length videos on TCG Automate, like how to make a proper listing with it, how to use it most efficiently, and how to get everything set up. So if you're interested in that, let me know down below. Also, another thing I want to mention is that if you are interested in doing like affiliate referrals or you're referring people to TCG Automate, let me know and I will send you a promo code so that you can get a kickback when you refer someone and then they sign up using the link. But yeah, thank you all for watching and hope you guys found this helpful, and I'll see you all in the next video.